Beanpole is very weird. It's admittedly well made. The performances are ace. The post-World War II 40s era is presented very nicely through the colours, set designs, and costumes. There are certainly some very interesting scenes with a slow pace that build tension and investment. There are very effective and dark moments, and the shift between a shaky cam and a still shot is actually pretty good, and both techniques are extremely effective for the scenes they're used in. It's a very solid film with personality that those making it clearly had a passion for while making it. Even the kid actor was pretty great. The sound is really good here, with footsteps, swallowing, and other very small details having very specific and noticeable levels of noise. There are tons of themes about motherhood, psychological abuse, post-traumatic stress, and romantic relationships that work very well, and the film ends on a suitably bleak note that this story does deserve. The story itself is an intriguing one about two people who, despite how much hate they may have flowing through their veins, can't seem to get rid of each other, especially because of the global conflict they both suffered from. I was mostly sold on what the film was trying to do. A lot of the locations they used were pretty beautiful as well, and there are even some very small, slightly humorous moments that build on the atmosphere in quite a smart way. That isn't to say the film is flawless. There are some sequences that go on for a tad too long. There are lots of conflicting morals and kind of dumb decisions. Like, if, I think her name is Ia, or I'm just gonna call her Beanpole, knows that she freezes up sometimes very randomly, then maybe she shouldn't be playing with a very little, very weak, timid kid in a way where she could freeze and kill him, like leaning over him and doing funny things to his face. She should be careful. It didn't take away from the genuine shock that the moment gave me, but at the same time, thinking about that was not helpful for the scene. The aftermath of it. It doesn't help both of the characters are equally very unlikable sometimes. As much of a shitty thing what Beanpole did was, I wasn't exactly rooting for the mother who basically forced her into being raped so she could have a child, and I wasn't supportive of when Beanpole basically tried to rape Masha because she did an equally shitty thing to her. The film's morals were kind of all over the place. I also felt kind of bad for Beanpole when she got beaten the fuck out of off screen at one point, but then again, she murdered a fucking child and she didn't really pay for it. It doesn't really matter about her post-concussion disorder, she should have known better. It sucks that she's a closeted lesbian who is literally afraid of sex with men, and she struggles to be external in any way, but she keeps doing these things that make me kind of hate her, or at least hate her decision-making. There's a kind of neat subplot about Masha falling in love, and it ends on the same bleak note as the rest of the movie. Masha also blackmails this guy into basically raping Beanpole. Masha also gets a cute little subplot where she starts dating some guy called Sasha, and he's cute, and he follows her around a little because he ends up working at the same place as her and Beanpole. I struggle to support the relationship as much as I like Sasha, because Masha doesn't really deserve it. Neither does the head doctor, Nikolai. We don't even know what he's being blackmailed for, but I guess it kind of adds to a sense of ambiguity. There's also a neat little subplot about a paralyzed soldier who has to be killed at the will of himself and his wife. What confused me was why Nikolai asked Ia to do it, knowing she's traumatized as fuck and just lost her kid, which makes me lose a bit of sympathy for him. He doesn't know until later that it's actually Masha's child. There was also some bad editing in one or two scenes, but on a technical level the film is pretty much flawless. Overall, Beanpole is full of interesting themes and moments, but at its core, it isn't that strong of a character drama. I'd still recommend it, but it's not a masterpiece or anything. It's worth a watch, definitely. And I'm giving this one a 6 out of 10. It is good.
Beanpole.